Time for this week's RSPW Rewind. And I got a lot of divided opinion last week on the inclusion of the background music last week. I was going to just ditch it altogether, but I've gotten a lot of comments saying that people like it, keep it, maybe lower it. So here's what we'll do. I will probably, after I'm done with all this, go back and insert the music. I'll lower it even more. You may even barely hear it. And we'll see if we can find a happy medium. And if that still doesn't work, I'll ditch it. I just thought it's something to, separate the segment out, make it a little more humorous. But anyway, this week's RSPW Rewind takes us back to the year 1998 and some negative opinions on Stone Cold Steve Austin. Yes, as Austin was ascending to his peak of popularity before he had even won his first WWF title. You can dig back in the archives and find people who were not a fan of Austin 316. Jay Jaffe is one of those examples. He writes here on January 8th, 1998, "Someone please give the stunner to Austin. His act is getting old. It would be cool if he came into the ring to give someone the stunner and they block his kick and then give it to him." Volman responds, "I would pay good money to see Owen break his lousy, stinking, worthless neck." Wow. That's pretty violent there from Mr. Volman. Crew Storm then comes to Austin's defense. He says, yeah, I love this crap. Two worthless, slobbish, lazy lame asses who can't handle the fact that a guy who simply changed his name from Steve Williams to Steve Austin makes more money, has more fame, and probably has better self-esteem than you two combined. Every Fargan post I see that says the same shit, Austin's getting old, this, that, and the other. You fuckers are probably the same motherfuckers going around saying that's the bottom line to everyone. Or some hypocrites out there who use some stupid signature like Asswipe316 and cause J-Rock said so. Or some other nonsense. Hell, throw in the people who can't handle the fact that Austin has been putting his arms up into the air for a long time, and he still gets a huge pop every stinking time he does it. Jealousy. Jealousy and envy. Well, aren't those the same thing? Jealousy and envy? Anyway. He's doing something you dickers wish you would be doing, and you probably would want more money to boot. George Costanza then responds. I shit you not. George Costanza responds, "I suppose you still mark out whenever Hogan does the leg drop of doom. Face it, things get old." Imagine considering Austin's shtick old already at this point, as they were building him up to strap the rocket to him. And for George Costanza in any way to compare Hogan dropping the big leg as being old to Austin giving people stunners when Hogan has been dropping that leg since the AWA, yada yada yada, you're an idiot. So Crew Storm responds. Crew Storm is not giving up here. He's a big defender of Stone Cold. He says, yeah, sure, Hogan's leg drop. I mark all the time, considering I've not seen Hogan wrestle since Starrcade in 1996. The first and last WCW pay-per-view I will probably order. It's fair to say that I don't give a Walt Whitman about Hogan's weak finish. I love that. Can I say that I love that? I think I might use that from now on. I'm not just going to be crude and say I don't give a shit or I don't give a rat's ass. Anybody can say that. I don't give a Walt Whitman about Hogan's weak finisher. At least the stunner gives you the chance to mark out a little bit. That is, if the stunnee properly lands on his knees in order to sell it perfectly. Owen Hart sells it perfectly. Vince flopping over the top of Austin's shoulder did not. But since some people here can't handle popularity, it's fair to say that nobody in wrestling should try something when it comes to longevity. Because RSPW will get bored with you. If all you people are bitching about Austin shtick now, how many of you who watched WCW gave up on Flair 10 years ago? Same argument, but of course Ric Flair shouldn't be judged like that. He's only been doing this little act for 15 plus years. Try somebody new, people. Go rant about the luchadors or something. And Crew Storm would pick up for Austin, or stick up, pick up, for Austin in another post 10 days later on January 18th titled, "To Hell with RSPW." Oh, this should be good. So here's what he said. "You know, if you were Eric Bischoff or Vince McMahon, would you consider just turning your back on even acknowledging the smarts? Everybody and their freaking fourth cousin finds something wrong with the Royal Rumble this year, and as predicted, half of you wrote it off." I assume he means wrote off the show. "Oh, please, let Sold Out save you people." That would be NWO Sold Out. So then he goes, and there's a whole list here, and I'll just go through this. He says, number 1, OG, Austin won the Rumble. After reading some of the posts here, hell, Austin sucks, Austin is this and that, you'd get the idea that Steve Austin was some sort of asshole. As far as I could tell, way more than half the people at the San Jose Arena were more than receptive to Austin winning the Royal Rumble. Number 2, OG, the entire pay-per-view sucked. Here's an RSPW original. I suppose all you people could come up with something better, and yes, that's without the fantastical WWF/WCW wet dream fantasy card that will never happen. Number 3, OG, Mike Tyson got booed. Why is Vince McMahon paying him all this money? Why is Vince McMahon working with this ear-biting convicted rapist? Funny how everyone convicts people in their minds when they never question other things. I think OJ did in fact commit murder, but can I in fact state that he is guilty? Sure. Can I state that the broad, oh boy, here we go, who said that she was raped by Tyson probably consented to sex, then turn around and accused him of rape? Sure, why not? I think the feminist bullshit mentality in this country was the epitome of that trial. Oh, this is where Crew Storm goes off the rails here. I'm not saying Tyson is the greatest role model, but he has in fact produced more national publicity than the fallen hero to some, Bret Hart, ever did during his entire career. That is the only reason, he says, why it was done. The WWF has easily gotten more publicity than Dennis Rodman did for WCW. Was it worth $4 million? We'll see. But for Bret Hart to say that the WWF is cash-strapped or that they're in financial trouble is just poppycock, coming from a disgruntled former employee who still wants to put his thumbprint all over his little brother's career. Hey Owen, come to WCW and be my underling again. No pleasing any of you, and then Vince wonders why he hasn't beaten Nitro in so long. It's the people in RSPW that is the poison. I point all of this out, and I wanted to pick a thread like this, because I think, remember the whole point of even starting this segment in the first place, the idea that discourse on social media and online and wrestling message board forums and places like that has gotten so toxic, and in some circles it has gotten very toxic, but it's as though this is some new phenomenon, and I keep pointing out each and every week that it is not. So you heard there, this goes beyond just, basic wrestling banter here. This guy was, as soon as he started talking about like the feminist movement and stuff, it reminded me of all these posts I see from people online today talking about the same kind of stuff. This was in 1998. RSPW was Twitter before Twitter was even tweeted. So this has once again been your weekly reminder that wrestling fans have always argued over trivial BS, and many of them have always been miserable human beings.